Yeah, guys. We also play games. Whoa. Yeah, it was a good game. Definitely, because I boycotted. Like, I haven't played. Well, I got Black Ops 4, but that was free. But before that, I haven't bought a Call of Duty since like Black Ops 2, just because I thought they started getting really bad. I didn't like all the jumping off walls and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't played Call of Duty in a long time, but this one I played the beta and I was like, you know what? It feels and looks different. It actually, like, your guns actually have recoil now. So I picked up this one and yeah, it's good. And the campaign was pretty awesome too. A lot of like pretty crazy, somewhat controversial stuff that happens in the campaign as well. But yeah, overall I like it. It's a good game. I like the multiplayer too.
We'll probably give it some sort of rating out of our usual 10 after this. But yeah, when I played through the campaign. Maybe I should have listened to a little more of their like marketing, but like I had no idea if this was a remake or like how it played into it. So I was playing it, and I kept comparing it to the campaign in the original Modern Warfare, thinking this is supposed to replace the other one. But I mean, in the end, obviously this connects in some way, but doesn't replace the other campaign. So
It's
by
just
the
a
end, I was a little more
continuation.
continuation or prequel.
Uh All right, well, because now if we start
Well,
talking
I
about
mean,
this,
I
we
now see
might
now
delve
we
into
both got
spoilers.
something. We both got something different from it. So I mean, whoever listens to this can make their own decision on how it plays into it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
the
actually, no, I think
campaign.
you're right. I think it is a prequel, but I don't know. We'll talk about it in maybe another time, so we don't spoil it in because it literally just came out. But uh, yeah, and that would explain some other things too, because I was not a fan of how, like, I thought Captain Price, because it's not a spoiler that he's in the game. He's on the fucking cover. I thought that Captain Price being back, the story would, um, kind of revolve more around him, which I didn't really feel. I felt like he was kind of more of a side dude, but
Is one of
yeah,
five
that was
characters.
that was like my only note for the campaign. Um, but yeah, the multiplayer feels much better than a lot of the last Call of Duties I played, and we're probably gonna play some after we finish wrapping this episode. But yeah, it's a good game.
I'm not like the campaign opens up with. I guess they open with a little shock value, but like aside from that, I felt like the original one. Like I'm glad it's not trying to replace it because I kept putting them side by side and thinking not a lot is happening here. The original one was better. Like this, how is this a reboot? Turns out, I mean, they play together as separate games. But I thought the story missions were way too short. That was one issue I had. Like they were like 5 minute missions, and also they
Mm,
didn't stay with one character for that long. I mean, though, I think one of the main characters you stayed with for quite a bit, but you don't learn anything about him. You don't really.
yeah, exactly.
It doesn't really make you like the character in any way because you don't really know anything about him. I'm just doing things as him, but he doesn't really have any personality.
But I did like a lot of the missions, the story missions, like especially like some of the night vision ones. Those were awesome. Um, and what was I gonna say? Yeah, the night vision one and the cutscenes. The cutscenes were unreal. Like the graphics in the story cutscenes were
Yeah, the
crazy. Like
facial
sometimes
animations.
yeah, like sometimes I couldn't even. There were times where like I could hardly even tell whether it was like, real life or CG. Yeah, the cutscenes were crazy, and even the in game, like, the gameplay graphics are much better than last Call of Duties too. Like with the lighting and all that kind of stuff, it looks way better.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
story
I
mode. I'm
don't
not
remember
necessarily
much
going
from
to go
Call of Duty
back around
4,
and
like, story wise.
there's a lot of like
I
a
should
lot of
play it again.
scenes in the campaign that actually like stood out and were memorable. Like when you're trying to escape. You're trying to escape. I don't know if you were in like a rock or something, but that nuke goes off when you fail to stop the nuke, and your guy's just wandering around, and you end up just falling over. Then your guy's
Right,
yeah, kind of like gives a little impact to the story. This one sort of was just a mission. Do your thing.
The
Nothing
Call of Duty
really.
campaigns are really good. Black
Yeah,
Ops
it's
1
sort of like they're
was
sort
the
of like
best
short and sweet
campaign.
storylines, sort of like a cinematic, like interactive movie.
Yeah, yeah, they're great. And Black Ops 1 was my favorite. Like, that campaign was so good. Not even
Black
just
Ops
one of
1
my
was really
favorite
good.
Call of Duty campaigns, just one of my favorite campaigns in general, to be honest.
Yeah, it was really good. I'd probably lean towards World at War was my favorite one. I like the World War, like the more dated
Yeah, I like
aspect
World
of
War
that.
II stuff.
Not all the
Yeah,
gadgets.
yeah, I like World War II stuff. Even though Call of Duty World War II was not so good. World at War, yeah, that's one of my favorite games. But I should play the
How,
Modern Warfare campaigns again. I haven't played them in a long time. I do remember that crazy part in the second one where you're literally shooting up an airport. That was pretty gnarly.
yeah, oh yeah, no Russian. I remember the name of that mission too.
Yeah,
Good play on word. But how
I
do you
think
feel about
at
the
first
multiplayer?
the multiplayer of this game, yeah, it's
Yeah,
good. It feels different. I like the new game mode Cyber Attack. They kind of
yeah,
took
more so about the game modes. I'm talking like I know you it feels different. I actually tried Gunfight today. Thought Gunfight was pretty fun. 2-on-2, fast paced. You pretty much know where everyone's gonna appear, so it's a rush. It's a rush to decide what you're gonna do, and you don't choose your weapons.
yeah, it's like a tiny little map.
Yeah,
2-on-2, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Cyber Attack, where it's pretty much search and destroy, but you guys can revive each other. So it's kind of like that game mode in Rainbow Six Siege. Um, but yeah, that game was fun. What other game? Oh, the Ground War. So there's like vehicles and stuff now, which is dope. Like tanks
yeah. I
and
learned
stuff.
that yesterday out of nowhere. I didn't know there was vehicles until I had an ATV just staring me down. Killed a guy on it. Just ghost rides into me. Wasn't
Yeah,
wasn't. I mean, I
yeah.
was impressed
ATVs are
that I
kind of
said that they actually
useless.
have vehicles again. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't even know why you'd
that's what I
go get
like
on
about
this.
this game. This game kind of went back to its roots, not only with like Modern Warfare, but with other Call of Duties, like having vehicles and all that kind of stuff. I think the older, I could be wrong, but the older Call of Duties, like the World War II ones, had a version,
Yeah,
like a
there's
game mode where it was like more people with tanks and stuff.
yeah, they had ground war and World at War. There's tanks. I remember you had to drop like anti-tank mines on the ground to like derail the tread.
Yeah, right, yeah. So I'm glad they went back to that.
Yeah. One other thing that annoys me about this game is there's no battle royale like blackout mode. But
Yeah,
I know
Blackout
you
was,
said
yeah.
you heard something about it. I looked it up. There's nothing official about it, but there's apparently there was data in the code that brought up like battle royale. So I
Yeah,
guess there's potential for there being one, but nothing has been confirmed. Nothing has been talked about by them.
yeah,
I
nothing
think
has
it'd
been
be like
actually confirmed.
I think it'd be a mistake not to have one because I realistically did they not only have one map the last time they brought one out for Black Ops 4? So they just need to make one map.
Yeah,
They have the
I
engine and
think it was
everything
one
ready.
map.
Yeah, and they have vehicles too. Like vehicles were a big component of that.
Yeah, I thought having helicopters would it was weird, but yeah, hopefully they have battle royale um and spec ops mode as well. We can't try it unfortunately because PlayStation is ridiculous and paid to have spec ops exclusive for a year
I think
because
they
they
might have backed
desperate.
off of that because there is Spec Ops. You can download it. It's free.
There's spec
I
ops,
just
but
haven't
there's not
haven't
the
played.
horde mode. The Horde mode version of Spec Ops that you can't play until a year.
So Spec Ops isn't actually the Horde thing that it used to be in like Modern Warfare 3?
Spec Ops was it's like a bunch of like co-op missions that you do with your boys, and Horde was one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but I didn't really play Spec Ops in the last. I think it was only in like one of the Modern Warfares. It was like in 3 or 2. Spec Ops wasn't really a big game mode, so like I'm not really that sad that I can't play it. But yeah, I'm not a huge, besides like campaigns and stuff. Like I like story driven like campaigns, but I'm not a big fan of Horde games like Gears, like Horde and Gears and stuff. I just don't like killing NPCs. It's kind of boring to me unless it's in like a campaign or if I'm playing like Fallout or something. But if I'm just killing waves of computers, it's kind of boring. But that's just me. But overall, I think Modern Warfare, this new one, they did a really good job.
What would you give it?
Out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8 because there are some things in like just a few bugs and stuff that they got to work out, but that's just because it's a new game. And there's still some things that are in every Call of Duty game that's in this one that annoys me. Like sometimes when you're getting shot and you're running and then you run behind cover, they still somehow manage to hit you and you die. I just know that every Call of Duty game does that, and it's so annoying. But yeah, I'll probably give it 8 out of 10.
I'd probably give it a 7. I feel like there's always those gameplay elements that can get fixed, but I feel like if they add a blackout mode of their own, probably kick it up to and with some modifications to the gameplay, probably kick it up to like an 8.5. It's not a bad game. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I like their take. I mean, Battle Royale is Battle Royale, but their take on it, like I like the open world Call of Duty type aspects instead of the closed map where, like you said, people will spawn in really bad situations. I mean, that's one
it's just
thing
new
that
dynamic to it,
helps
which
with
is
that.
really,
Yeah. So I mean, 7. Probably give it a 7 for now.
I do like that they made it crossplay, so Xbox players can play with PlayStation players and PC players, and we can all play together. So that's how gaming should be.
Every game should have that, especially if it's a third party game. I mean, you can have your exclusives to yourself, sure, but there's no reason why I can't play a sports game or a shooter game, and
yeah, exactly. I have all the systems, but everyone prefers one over the other, of course. So, all games should, there's people who prefer PlayStation, but their friends prefer Xbox, but they still want to play with each other. So, it's good. All games should start doing this. But yeah, the cross-platform. Apparently, I heard that they made it so, because I know people say, oh, well, if you're using a mouse and keyboard, that's so they have such an advantage. It's kind of bullshit. But apparently, only people who are using a mouse and keyboard can only get into lobbies with people using a mouse and keyboard, or
and everything else you can match up, I guess, Xbox against PlayStation.
Yeah, or PC if they want to use a controller on their PC, but that really defeats the purpose.
I mean, even Xbox supports a mouse and keyboard now, so I guess you can play with them if you really want to, if you want to plug a mouse and keyboard in.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be ways around it, so I feel like no matter what, we're just going to get into games with people playing on mouse and keyboard, so that's the only kind of downside.
I don't think we're going to get into games with those mouse and keyboard people unless we're using a mouse and keyboard on our Xbox. Because, I mean...
Yeah,
I think
let's say we're playing with one of our friends who is using a mouse and keyboard. I'm pretty sure if we're playing with him, we'll get into games where other people are using mouse and keyboards. So it would still be kind of annoying.
Possibly, if they don't think that through. I mean, we'll see.
I have a feeling that's how it's going to be. But yeah, we'll see. But overall, yeah, great game, great, good Call of Duty. If you're like me and we're one of those people who didn't play Call of Duty because you saw it like getting pretty bad, this is a good one. It's not my biased opinion because I stopped playing Call of Duty for a long time.
Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified.